Hello, everyone. It's Jerry at the Fledge, and welcome to another episode of Every Damn Day. And I just noticed I got my names wrong on the thing here. I'll change that in a little bit. But broadcasting again from Los Angeles, kind of similar place out on the deck where we were yesterday. And it's been a trip. It's been difficult to do all of this in different time zones, so you're seeing us bounce around in the times and all of that. And I want to give a shout out to thisent.com. Thanks again for the write-up you did yesterday. So check out thisent.com for good neighbor write-ups and positive stories and all of that. Also, I've been asking my guests who they want to give a shout out to, and family and friends is definitely a popular answer. And my guest today said her pets, and we'll probably talk about her pets. But one of them's out here roaming around, Chiron. And also, it's my guest's birthday today. So happy birthday to my guest. And she always jokes that it's also Barack Obama's birthday today. So shout out to Barack Obama, whatever you're doing out there on your birthday. So let's get to my guest. It is Raven Norris, my daughter. How you doing?
I'm good. Hello, everyone.
So first off, happy birthday.
Thank you.
How old?
22.
Yeah.
Lucky 22.
You feel that way? You
Yeah,
like
it's
that number?
Double of 2, which is a double.
Were you ever, was that ever your number in basketball?
Just 2.
Just 2. So twice as nice this time.
Double.
Let's jump into you a little bit. Tell us about where you were born and raised and where you went to school and all that stuff.
I was born and raised in Lansing. I guess I grew up in Grand Ledge and went to their high school, elementary school. Then I spent a year at Loyola Chicago studying biochemistry and pre-med. And then I switched to Michigan State University and just graduated with a bachelor's in genetics and molecular genomics.
All right. So let's work backwards a little bit. Did you like Michigan State? Did they have a good program for that?
Yeah, I liked it. Loyola, you had to take a lot of extra classes because it was a private school, which I liked a lot because you learned a lot of different subjects, but it wasn't completely focused on labs and science, where Michigan State was a lot more hands-on. And I'm going to be working in a lab. I like doing lab work, so I think Michigan State definitely had good labs. So I liked that it was one-on-one, and I had like more connections, so it was easier for me to, I guess, do well because I had a lot of my support system at Michigan State.
Yeah. But did you love Loyola though, right?
Yeah, I liked it. I loved it. I met a lot of good friends there. The curriculum was really, really good. It made me think about things that I haven't learned before. You wouldn't learn in public school, and a lot of the teachers are really passionate about what they're teaching you. So I definitely feel like I like that school a lot, and I would go back there for like a doctor or something someday, probably.
Yeah. So working backwards in your school, you went to the Grand Ledge High School,
Mm-hmm.
and recently they had a problem with the superintendent. There's a lot of injustice and racism that was being protested out there.
Yeah.
As you were looking at that from sort of a distance now that you're not going there, do you have any thoughts about that? I mean,
I think it's pretty embarrassing. I feel like people have complained about it for a long time, and I think it's kind of sad that people are just now talking about it because of like things like Black Lives Matter and stuff. Like after people saw things being protested, then they wanted to start speaking up, which I'm happier like that it happened, better than nothing at all. And I'm glad that that movement could give people a voice to speak up, but I definitely think it's like long overdue for sure.
Yeah. Did you see racism in your school when you were there?
Yeah, I feel like, yeah, definitely. Like even just how like friend groups would separate themselves, and just how teachers would talk to people and like certain people always getting in trouble, definitely for sure.
Yeah. So you played basketball?
Yep. Played basketball and ran track. I played basketball until my sophomore year, but I ran track all 4 years. Basketball, I was like a point guard, shooting guard, and then in track, I ran the 2 different hurdle races and sometimes like the 4x1 or the 4x2.
Did you watch any of the Olympics yet?
Mm-hmm. Yep, there was a girl from East Lansing, Taylor Manson, who I guess we used to run alongside each other. So that was really cool that she got to go to the Olympics. I know in the 4x1 or 4x4, it was probably the 4x4. I know that she's good at running that, but they won a bronze medal in the Olympics. So that's really cool.
Yeah, that's awesome. Anything else you want to talk about with your schools or, well, we were big in 4-H, right?
Yep, we did 4-H. I just went to the Eaton County 4-H fair before I moved to Los Angeles, so that was a good thing to do before I moved, just because I kind of spent a lot of my childhood there, so it was kind of a full circle moment. But yep, I liked showing chickens. We still have chickens at the Fledge. I definitely want to have chickens and probably goats and maybe a cow when I'm older, but later when I'm settled down and want more responsibility and being stuck in one place.
Yeah. Anything, skateboarding. Were you watching that in the Olympics?
I haven't. Well, I've watched videos online on like TikTok and stuff, but I haven't watched the actual games. But I know that there was a girl that won gold in something, so I saw that and that was really cool. And there's lots of skate parks in Los Angeles, so I'm gonna try to get back into that once I gain a little bit more confidence figuring out the ways of the skate parks here.
Yeah, that was, we always had a dream that the skateboarding would be an Olympic sport. You remember that? We talked about it 10 years ago.
Yep, but now it is, and a girl won one of them. There's a lot of girls.
So you hinted to it. You've moved to Los Angeles, and Los Angeles has busy airports, so we will get interrupted by planes throughout this interview.
We're on a high hill close to where they go.
If you saw the show yesterday, it's a beautiful view.
Yeah.
But we'll let this plane go by for a second. So, why'd you move to Los Angeles?
Well, first of all, we've been talking about it for a while since we were little. I feel like it's always kind of been a dream of mine to go. And I just finished school, so I don't really have too much responsibility in one place, so I kind of like to change around. I went from Chicago, I was in Lansing, and I just wanted to try something new, and I like the warm weather, but I'm also starting a job at Cedars-Sinai, which is a hospital in Los Angeles. So I don't know if you want to talk more about that, but yeah. I wanted to be out here. It's way warmer than Michigan, so year-round. And there's lots to do. Everyone's starting a business. Everyone's doing something that's pretty innovative. Usually a lot of people are doing things that are, like, not working out, so it's kind of, like, fun to see people, like working hard for what they want. But then there's also a lot of people that are, like, making it super big off of, like, meeting one person. It changed their whole life, so it's cool to see, but it's also sad because there's definitely some issues with like the homeless environment, and it's just overpopulated. So there's good things and there's bad things, but I'm happy I'm here, like experiencing it.
Do you think that, and I'm going to talk about a ton of stuff still, but do you think your work with like the Fledge Foundation, where you were the executive director for 9 months or so?
Yeah.
Do you think that, how'd that change your view of, let's say, the homeless or the kids on the street or stuff like that you're seeing here?
I mean, it does suck to see the fact that like we could have like a really good influence on the city and like be able to help so many people, but then this is like an even bigger city with like even more resources to give, and it has like good weather year round, so there's no reason that they should like not have a food supply in some sort. So it is kind of upsetting like seeing how many homeless people are there and like not getting helped at all. So I guess like just experiencing that and knowing that you can make a difference is kind of like frustrating, but it's also like motivating me to be able to like reach out to people and like see how I can get involved, or even like making some sort of model so people could learn how to do it themselves. Because I feel like it's a program that other people could start in different areas without like me necessarily doing anything. But I'm just like hoping I can meet the right people and talk to the right people and see how I can help that in some way. But it is definitely sad. Like a lot of people set up like towns of like tents and stuff under bridges, and like you're used to seeing them every week, and then 2 weeks later they're completely like ripped down and thrown away. So it is kind of sad having to like see people like set up and get comfortable just for them to come home to their home gone.
So this is one thing that you you surprised me with, I think it was yesterday. You said you were listing off all the things that you could do in Los Angeles, and you talked about the entrepreneurial opportunities that are here.
Mhm.
And I really love that you said, I can start a business and fail.
Yep.
Do
You
you
gotta
feel,
fail a couple times. I feel like most people fail, then they succeed. But if you don't fail, you don't know what you're doing wrong, and you don't have as much like work ethic to keep going. So I feel like it's good to fail. I feel like it's common to fail. It's just part of life. You can turn it into a funny story or a success story, depending on what you want to do with it. But yeah, it's definitely very like innovative here, and you, like I said, you could probably meet someone on the side of the street that could blow up an idea that you had, or if everyone thinks you're crazy, there's that one person that can help you. So
yeah, I really noticed at dinner last night, everybody was talking about ideas, projects, things they were working on. And the vibe is just, I don't know, it's different. When you were in East Lansing, do you think the vibe was similar at all, or?
no, I mean, I think you can find people that are like think similarly to that, but I don't know, like I feel like that's kind of what I liked about Chicago, and what I like about Los Angeles is it's like, even though it's busy and it seems like it is busy, so there's either like the busy side of work life where you're creating and doing a bunch of stuff, or there's like the chill, being able to relax in Michigan with a clear mind. So it is like, I do like the city because I do feel like it's like more motivating because a lot of people are doing stuff, but also it's like good to just kind of take a step back.
Well,
Did I answer your question?
Yeah, you did. Do you think we could do something? Looking, so you just graduated from college. You left the mid Michigan area fairly quickly, very quickly actually. Right after you graduated, you've got a great job. You're out here in a different spot. Would you have done that if Lansing had the same vibe?
I feel like even if I lived in a city and then moved to Lansing, I could do that. Like, even without the vibe, I do think like traveling and getting like a new experience is always going to make you kind of get more motivated in your mindset. If you're doing the same thing every day, I think it's easy to kind of get comfortable and like be scared of change. So I think just like even moving around, even if you leave and come back, like I feel like even me leaving to Chicago and coming back, like I had really different relationships with people, and what I worked on and spent my time doing was a lot different. So I feel like just like moving around and like changing your space can change your mindset. And if you don't like the position you're in, you can always change your space. I know it's kind of hard to like just pick up and move, but if you can, even like rearranging your room and just like rearranging your space, I feel like if you have new space, it'll make you more innovative and excited.
So our good friend Mariboy, I love your insight.
Thank you. I love you.
And your mom wished you happy birthday.
Thanks.
Katie wished you happy birthday.
Thanks,
too.
Katie.
So,
love you too.
Let's go back to your job because this is exciting, right? So you have a degree in genetics.
Yep.
And you got a job using your degree.
Yep.
All right.
Yep. Yep. So I'm going to be working at Cedars-Sinai, which is a hospital in Los Angeles, like I mentioned. But I'm working as a research associate in the Goldhaber lab. So Dr. Goldhaber's lab. So it's in the Schmidt Heart Institute, but basically what we're trying to do is look at like the human heart and look at the calcium cycle, so like how your heart makes calcium and how your genes make calcium. We found that it has an effect on like how your heart beats. So basically we're figuring out how to control like that pump of your heart to control like the pacemaker and like pumping system. So hopefully we can kind of not reverse but prevent heart disease and heart attacks and stuff like that. So we want to make your body kind of fix itself instead of like needing a pacemaker or something like that. But we also do like genetic analysis of our samples, and I haven't even started yet, so I don't know about other little things that we might be working on, but I'm really excited, and the research lab is really, really good.
Did just real quick, want to show that
Thank
Miss
you.
Divine, how you doing?
We appreciate you. We love you.
Yeah, we love you guys too. Um, what uh, what was I gonna say? What are you gonna be doing like on the day to day?
I don't know, like if I'm supposed to like.
Oh, talk about
Yeah,
that.
I don't know. So I don't know for sure, but basically, like we're taking live heart tissue samples, um, and we're looking at them underneath a microscope and giving them different like genes and calcium samples. So I don't know how we administer that yet, but I know we're looking at that under the microscope. And I think we do have animals in the lab. I'm not sure like exactly like what we're going to be doing day to day, but I do know that like we're genetically analyzing heart like tissues of some sort and just making sure they work properly.
Yeah. Um, and if you are going to work with animals, this is a great place to do it because LA has or California has such good animal protection rules.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
but the lab does a lot of stuff. It's a nonprofit hospital. They do over like $700 million worth of like nonprofit work. And I can work overtime if I want. I can try to volunteer in different labs, or move to different projects if I feel the need to. But I'm excited to get working on this project for sure. But they're always working on something new, so I'm excited to even like hear about things other people are doing in other labs as well.
when you were little, what did you want to be when you grew up?
A veterinarian.
Do you think you'll still ever want to do that?
Probably not. I learned a lot about microbiology, and it is helpful for veterinarian, but probably not. I really like the genetics aspect of things, and like even if I did some sort of research, it might be able to help veterinarians and people who make medicine. But I learned the other day that veterinarians have really, really high suicide rates, and I didn't
really?
know that because apparently, sorry, trigger warning if that's triggering to anyone.
It's okay.
But yeah, I learned that, which is like so sad because they help so much and they're helping your pets, which we feel is super important, but they're not like paid enough, you know? So I definitely think that we need to kind of make that more accessible and more like kind of consider that and like appreciate who you're going to take care of your pets, because I know a lot of people's pets are their whole world.
Mom says you used to doctor the stuffed animals.
Yep. I used to cut open my stuffed animals with fake plastic knives and give them stitches.
I don't want to skip over the suicide subject again. Just, our community is suffering. You know that a lot of people are isolated and feeling sad. You know that a lot of people are trying to help a lot of people and absorbing that kind of secondary trauma, I think it's called. And just remember, let's check in on each other and love each other and be kind to each other. Mm-hmm. Even if it's someone you don't know, be kind to them, because your smile could change a little bit of the next 5 minutes of their lives and make a difference. So
yeah, feels good to give to other people and be there for other people.
Yeah.
It almost feels better than other people being there for you. So,
and don't forget to check in on yourself too, because if you're not feeling right, you're feeling, I don't know, despair and no hope, there's a lot of us out here that'll love you, that want you around and would be willing to talk and help and all of that.
Agreed.
So you think you're going to do this genetics thing for your whole career?
Yeah. I have like multiple things that I like and I'm passionate about, so if I could do multiple things I would, but I think the most consistent thing that I'll be working on is genetics. I think it's super interesting. I think there's a lot to learn. I feel like it's almost like impossible not to discover something in this field, like just because it's so new. So like it's motivating for you to work because there is something to discover. It's not like we know everything about it. I think it's really interesting. It comes natural to me because it's interesting. So I feel like that's always good to do something that you feel that way about. And then I want to continue my education in it eventually, but I'm really excited to just get in the lab and start like using those actual work skills, so then I can keep learning.
So do you look for, well, we forgot to talk about one thing, but are you going to start looking for problems to solve? Do you ever think you'll want to be entrepreneurial in this space?
Yeah.
Like start a business?
Definitely, for sure.
Is that the goal?
Yeah, I want to be able to open my own lab so I can work on multiple projects and write papers. Even if I don't like invent something and like put out a product, I definitely want to be published and like write a lot so other scientists can use like my findings. I guess I'd rather put out more information than actually start one project, I feel like.
Yeah.
But there might be something that I'm like super passionate about that I understand a lot and I need to make a product out. So I guess it just depends on my resources, but obviously with like the grant experience from the Fledge Foundation that helped me kind of know what I need to do if I did want to start my own lab or my own project or company.
That's awesome. We forgot to talk about modeling.
Oh, yep.
You have a modeling career, huh?
Yep. So I used to model in middle school for Stuart Talent and
Yep.
Chosen Women, or it might have been Chosen Men and like Select Women or something.
I can't remember all that.
But stopped that in high school, and then got back into it this last 2 years with Endless Management. They're in Grand Rapids. They're great. I love the agency so much. It's two sisters. And so it's just been like really nice because they're young women and they just, I feel like, respect me as a model and make sure that I'm safe, always give me lots of good advice. So I think that I've definitely had a really good experience with this industry. And a lot of my other friends that are models that work with different agencies, they aren't as happy and have some horror stories. So I know a few of them have even wanted to transfer over to my agency. So I've had really, really good experiences with them. I have really good things to say about them. I wish I wasn't leaving Michigan because I want to do more work with them in Grand Rapids. But they want to help me sign for an agency in Los Angeles, which we're looking at and we want to do. We took pictures for, but I'm working 9 to 5 with my other job, and that's like the time that people do work here in Los Angeles for modeling. So we're deciding if we want to. I haven't presented myself to the agencies yet, so we're kind of waiting to see if I have some open free time during the week or if I'm just gonna have to say that I'm available on the weekend. But it's fun to do freelance. I wouldn't want to do that probably full time. It'd probably be stressful, but it's fun to do from time to time, and it pays good.
Is it how does that tie into like what you're trying to do in genetics or what you're trying to do entrepreneurial?
I think it's good to just kind of step out of your comfort zone. I think modeling can be kind of challenging because if you're the only model, the attention's like completely on you, and you kind of have to be able to like move around and feel comfortable around people you've never met before. So, and like I'm an extrovert, I feel like I'm good at socializing, but it can be awkward. So it is challenging, and I feel like it helps me kind of like come out of my comfort zone, which makes me more confident in things that I'm doing, like as far as interviews, or like working in genetics or being a woman in science and like keeping my voice. So I definitely feel like it's helped me use my voice more for sure.
What do you do every damn day to kind of piece all this together and push your mission forward?
Every day, I've been trying to read, but I haven't been reading every day. I just moved, so I'm doing a lot. And a book that I'm going to start is Altered Traits. I can't remember who it's from, but maybe I'll comment. But it's called Altered Traits. I'm going to read that. But I do think that every day I think a lot. I like thinking. I like spending time with myself. I started doing hot yoga before I left, so I really liked to meditate. So I would say that one thing I do, maybe too much, or I don't know if it's too much. It could be okay. But yeah, I like to think and meditate and spend time with myself and just kind of think about the present and what I want to do with my time.
I think a guest a few shows ago said that daydream was the thing they did every damn day.
Yeah.
Which I think driving out here, I was allowed to daydream again because I'm so in the day-to-day sometimes. I need to start daydreaming more.
Yeah.
All right, we'll FaceTime every morning.
Crystal energy.
So yesterday on the show, I had one of your friends, Jameson, and he had a question for you. His question is, what's something you want to be the best at? Like you want to be the best in the world at this thing?
Probably learning, because I feel like knowledge is power. I feel like you can't ever learn everything. So I feel like being the best doesn't even mean learn anything, but just being able to take in new information and like fully understand it into the way that we can. But I definitely think knowledge is super rewarding. I think it changes your perspective. I definitely feel like learning new perspectives and different information is like what kept me, I guess, like positive throughout my life and like making me motivated to want to do things. I think like reading, that's why I like college. I don't really like the testing aspect of things. I don't think it's like fair to everyone, but the one thing that I really benefited from college is like learning things that I didn't know before, and there were like good professors that actually would just blow your mind with the things that you were learning. So I definitely feel like I would want to be the best at learning and just like being the best at seeking the right situations that make you learn, asking the right questions, stuff like that.
Let's so Rochelle's over here. Happiest of birthdays, Raven. Love listening to you, and thank you for sharing your new endeavors.
Thank
and
you so
insight.
much. I miss you.
So, and then shout out to your research. So,
Research. Nice. Good. Well, I hope she's healing well.
tomorrow on the show, I have Zane Benavides. He is going to tell me, I think, about a new cafe and probably a ton of other things that he does. He's very good for our community.
Mm-hmm.
What question would you like me to pass to him?
What's your favorite swear word?
Do you have? So I'm going to.
Can he answer that?
Huh?
Will he be able to answer that?
Well, if he can't answer it, then he won't. Kind of like what you did about.
If he doesn't
the
want to
research.
answer that, he can answer what's the most embarrassing thing that's ever happened to him publicly.
I'm gonna go with the swear word one just to be nice to him.
I don't know. Some people like to redeem themselves.
So which question would you like to answer?
The F word is my favorite word.
The F word.
Mm-hmm.
We swear on this, so she means fuck.
Yep. Fuck.
So
you can use it in place of any word.
Yeah.
Yep.
Have you been using this word for a long time?
Ask Shannon Norris.
Yeah.
She taught me.
So why that question?
I think it's funny. I think that in a professional setting, sometimes people do need to loosen up. I don't want to make it like uncomfortable to anyone if that's, some people have different triggers. But I do think it's like good to take a step back and just realize that the people that you're talking with day to day are human and that everybody's not picture perfect, work professional 24/7, which is good to be professional. But I also think it's good. You'll make further progress in your businesses and your relationships if you realize that you both are human.
Yeah. And swearing, it's healthy, right?
It's funny.
It's funny.
Mm-hmm.
It is funny. Happiness, sadness, love, joy, or hope. What word would you like to talk about?
Love.
Is there a particular reason you picked that and you want to talk about it, or you want me to ask you questions?
I just moved, so I obviously love my friends and family. I'm used to doing long distance stuff by being in Chicago and stuff like that. But I'm really thankful for the friendships that I've made, especially in these last couple of years. And I just love them. I love my family. It's hard to leave them. And I also need to look at it the other way, though, too, because I'm doing what I love. I love California. I love genetics. And I'm going to start a career that I love. So I feel like that's the most prominent in my life right now.
Are there a lot of different kinds of love?
Yeah, definitely. There can be good love, bad love, things that are good for you, bad for you, right at the wrong time, good but hurts. All sorts of different types of love and interpretations of what love is. Platonic.
One of my guests from, a few weeks ago talked about unconditional love. And is it good or is it bad?
I think it's good. I think that it feels good and it's amazing that a lot of people have the opportunity to be loved unconditionally, but I also think you need to take a step back and realize that if someone who loves you unconditionally is giving you a toxic situation, or making you feel uncomfortable, that it's not bad to take a step away and cut that off. So I don't think it's a bad thing. I think that it's really good and really cool, and a good experience that people should have. But if it's uncomfortable for you, then you got to make that choice for yourself to like remove yourself from that situation. And as much as you want to take care for other people, like you really do need to take care of yourself, because if everybody was taking care of themselves, then I think everybody would feel a lot less regret and guilt and depression. I think that focusing on yourself is good, but it's also good to love everybody else. So if it feels right for you, then that's great. And then if not, do what you need to do for yourself.
Do you, like, can you look at a crowd of people on the street, let's say the homeless under the bridge, for example, and do you feel a love for them, or?
Yeah, definitely. I'm more likely to love somebody than, I don't really feel like I hold a lot of hate for anyone, but maybe. But yeah, there's some messed up people in the world, but I love mostly everybody. I think it feels good to love people. I think it's good to give them the benefit of the doubt. It feels more rewarding if you take the chance to love them and like interact with them. Maybe they'll do something that matches your energy and then it feels really good, or maybe they'll do something weird or negative and you have to remove yourself from the situation, but you're just like moving on with your day. Like, it can be rewarding to love people. So I think you might as well just do that and try to match their energy and see where it goes.
I love that answer. Were you going to say something more?
We're mirrors of each other. We're all more same than we are different, and how people are raised and what they're around does kind of change their mindset. And there are people that have different situations. So I feel like it's good to just give people the benefit of the doubt and take the time to understand each other and treat everybody equal and lovingly.
Did we forget to talk about anything?
I don't think so.
I don't think so either.
I don't think so.
Well, thank you for spending some of your birthday with me.
Thanks for having me.
Do you want to put a dig into Rain for not being on my show, and you got to be on the show?
Haha, Rain. He didn't want you on a show anyway.
Yes, I did. But it's okay.
Him go.
Maybe if I do.
He just has to do he has to host an event now publicly in front of millions of people instead of online behind a camera.
Rain does?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, it's a deal then. We'll see if we can get him to do that. What would you like to take us out with?
That the Fledge is amazing and what my dad is doing is amazing, and my mom. They're doing good work for the community, and it's been really good helping them with it. And just give them their support and let them know if you need any support, because they'll be happy to help you. And thanks for being a community to us and our family. And I think that's it.
Thank you. I love you.
Love you.
Happy birthday.
Thank you.
All right, everyone. See you tomorrow. I think at 2 for sure this time. So the next 2 days should be at 2 p.m. Eastern time, the normal time. You all have a good night, and we will talk with you.